today I'm going to talk to you about something that I got in the mail, and it's pretty neat, pretty special to me because I utilize this thing all the time when I'm going throughout the state of Virginia to find the various different spots to talk to you about when it comes to the American Civil War. And the Civil War Trails has sent me this map. They have updated and upgraded this map completely. You can actually request a copy of this map if you want to from them. Go over to civilwartrails.org and you'll learn all about the organization. You can donate. You can help in many different ways, like taking sign selfies and putting it up on Twitter if you want to, or X. And just kind of, be mindful of the different things that they do. So we're going to take a look inside here and see what we got. So as you can tell, this is quite the map. It's gigantic. And the best part for me when it comes to these maps from the Civil War Trails is they have detailed sections for different types of locations to go to. For example, you have the Lee versus Grant section, you have the Shenandoah Valley, then you have the Gettysburg invasion section, the Lee's retreat section is on here, and every single spot that you could possibly go to for the state of Virginia is actually a part of this map. Now, if you don't like getting on the roads with a paper map and looking through that paper map because you're trying to drive, another thing that you can do is go to their website. civilwartrails.org has a map on it that's interactive that you can click on the little stars that are on the interactive map, and it will actually GPS coordinate you to the location that you're trying to get to. So for people that like to hit up, like for example, Lee's retreat all the way to Appomattox, Virginia, that GPS coordinates is an extremely helpful thing because you click on it, you go to the next location, and then the next location, and then the next location, and you're never, unless you run out of cell phone signal, you're never really lost with that map. So that's one of the neat features about it. I'm taking a look at this thing and it's pretty exciting. It has a lot of colorful pictures in there, very crisp, updated, a lot of information in here. For example, a new nation. It talks about black men and women and children fought for freedom long before the Civil War began. Countless families escaped the horrors of slavery on the Underground Railroad network. So that's just one of the many details that are in here. Stand in their footsteps. Photographs taken during the Civil War are among the first widely published battlefield images. They have a nice section that shows Deep Bottom Landing in Henrico County in here, where it transitions from the black and white photo into today's color photo to show you exactly where this picture was taken in Henrico County. And then you take a look at the different places that you can plan. There's also Virginia state parks in here for you to look at. I see that it has Tidewater area, Northern Virginia, Central Virginia, Shenandoah Valley, and it also has Southside Virginia and the Southwestern Virginia listed in here too. So maybe you are into state parks, maybe you're into national parks, but realistically, the national parks has a massive footprint. You can find that. But to have this all in one place like this, into this map, where you can follow the trail all the way along, some interstate route or some road And you can also go in here and take a look at this all in one space. This is a really good tool for you to have if you're a historian or even a traveler like myself. I love to get out on the roads, and I love to go to these places one step at a time, one place at a time, from one small city at a time. And that's really what I like about this. Well, if you're tuning into this video, then it's probably because you've been to my channel before and you like the videos that you see about history. Because today I'm talking about a map, essentially. And since we just went over that map and talked about it, you might have some questions about Civil War trails. So if you do have questions about them, you can go over to civilwartrails.org. That's their website. There's more information in there about them, but I'll give you a little brief history. So in 1994 is when it really all began. They started putting up signs with historians working with them, and they completed a section of signs called Lee's Retreat, which goes all the way out to Appomattox. And it talks about the last and final days of Lee's army heading into Appomattox. And there's a lot of signs on that retreat. How do I know? I went to every single one of them going all the way to Appomattox, and I did it in a single weekend. That's kind of a task. But if you got more time to stretch it out, it's a really enjoyable task because you take a lot of back roads through small towns and places that you would probably never see if you weren't doing something like that. It's a grassroots organization. So essentially what that means is they get their donations and they essentially get their work based on the people on the ground just like you and me. If we come up with an idea and we take it to maybe our city council or something and we see history, it's extremely important. And then somebody contacts the Civil War Trails organization and lets them know, hey, we got some history here that probably should be covered. And then the donations start coming in from regular folks, and somebody sponsors a sign. The moment that sponsorship happens, a sign can go in the dirt and that information can be put up there. And that works in multiple ways. It's not just the thing that brings the history. It's a stopping point. It's an actual pinpoint on a map for history travelers. People just like me. We love to go into these towns and see these things and read about the history and where it happened. So what does that do? That brings more traffic to that town. That also brings more attention to the history in that town, which is extremely important. Now, it's Civil War history, so what exactly do they do? Well, let's get one thing straight. They interpret history. They don't commemorate, they don't memorialize, they interpret it. Basically means they get a bunch of historians together and they start digging into the history. They interpret it, find the exact location, usually within pinpoint accuracy if they can, and they put that sign up exactly where that happened. They try to find photographs to match it up to. They try to find drawings, writings, anything that they can find in history that can talk to and speak to the history that happened at that location. And that is the beautiful thing about these signs. You don't have to be a historian to go out to the Civil War trails and learn something, or even sound like you know something. You can literally walk up to the sign, read the sign, turn around and tell the next guy behind you or girl behind you, hey, this is what happened. And you will sound like a historian because that's how much information's in those signs. Now, it's people like Drew, Chris Brown, Jason Schaefer, those types of folks that are working over there with the Civil War Trails real hard, making things happen at this 501(c) nonprofit. It is a nonprofit organization. Nobody's catching profit from this. Everything that you put into this organization goes right back to those signs and taking care of the upkeep and building new signs and putting them into the ground so that the history can be brought to people and we can enjoy it ourselves. Just imagine it like a gigantic national park all over multiple states, essentially. All these different stops that you can go to. And again, like I said earlier, in their website, that interactive map that you can go to and click on and GPS your way through, that works for all those stops. It's a beautiful thing. Well, it's been great bringing this to you and kind of showing you a brief overview of what's in this map. I highly suggest you go out there and request one and have them send you one. This Virginia Civil War Trails map is outstanding. Well, it's been fun bringing this to you and talking to you about the map and kind of bringing a little bit of that to you and the background of Civil War Trails, really. If you want to follow them over on X, you can look them up at Civil War Trails. And again, go to their website, civilwartrails.org, and check out all the stuff that they have for you. Again, this map is super informative. And if you're in Virginia and you're looking for something to get you through to some historical sites, you need to go check this map out. You need to have them send it to you today. I highly recommend it. It's one of the best tools I have in my toolbox, that's for sure. Until next time, it's History with Waffles.